responsible for the perpetuation of cancer in our culture. I wish she was dead. Oh, she is. Good. Science is a necessary tool to debunk cultural presuppositions. When science does this, scientific discoveries are condemned and vilified. Conditioning explains this, and the science of human behavior, along with other scientific, still going through puberty, sorry about that, with other scientific discoveries are needed for us to live long and prosper. And no, I wasn't a big Trekkie fan. Ayn Rand not only was conditioned not to understand this, but was reinforced for arguing conclusions. She behaves like an intolerant ignoramus, just like the programmed robot she condemns and vilifies. Exactly the same. Every argument she makes rails against conclusions and shows complete misunderstanding, but that never stems her venomous attack. She is outraged that behaviorism is stimulus response psychology. It isn't. It isn't even close. Behaviorism gives 6 causes for human behavior. Still going through puberty a little bit there. Genetic endowment, how you're hardwired, your evolutionary history, very complicated, and I'll just stick with very complicated. Prenatal chemical environment, the chemicals you're exposed to in the womb, they all affect your later behavior. Postnatal chemical environment, things you eat, things you drink, even small things like the lights in the room, the colors in the room. There are gazillions of chemicals and they all affect you, every single one. You probably don't notice. Then there's Pavlovian conditioning, and this is probably closest to stimulus response. But even this is stimulus response. It still is much more complicated. Skinnerian conditioning. Ooh, she hates B.F. Skinner. Oh, he gave us understanding. He is awful. Stimulus response consequence. Evolution deals with consequence a lot. Behavior deals with consequence. Amazing how well that really plays into our understanding. But of course it goes against cultural presuppositions, so Ayn Rand condemns and vilifies it. Predictable. Traumatic factors. Brain damage, Alzheimer's disease. I'm not sure if I have a complete understanding of this one because I don't relate to it much, but they seem to affect a lot of people. Well, I don't really know. 6. Way beyond stimulus response. I am outraged by her ignorance. That is how I was conditioned. I hate people that choose superstition over science. Yes, they choose it for a reason. There are a lot of reasons, but it still irritates the heck out of me. She is also infuriated that Skinner does away with a thinking man. Skinner does no such thing. Man thinks and feels. Skinner never says anything differently. Thoughts and feelings are descriptions, though, not causes. Attributing causal influence to them is superstitious behavior. My articulation is poor. I apologize. It takes away from the entertainment value a little bit. But, hey, what can you do? I am who I am, and that's all that I am. Attributing causal influence to them is superstitious behavior. That cannot be emphasized. See, if thoughts cause behavior, I would say things correctly. No, they don't. Superstitious behavior. Understanding this is the key to everything. It's because without science, we act superstitiously. People do not hit a baseball because they have confidence. You don't give them an injection of confidence and they suddenly become an all-star athlete. People gain confidence when they hit a baseball in ways that were reinforced in the past. They gain confidence and hit a baseball. The hitting of a baseball can easily be seen as being determined by a person's evolutionary history. They practice. They have a bat. Pitcher throws a ball. I'm getting a little bit away from evolution, but you get the idea. There are reasons. There are causes. Well, I'll get back to that. Causes are determined by an evolutionary history, environmental history, and the current situation. Puberty again. Alright. People do not eat because they think they are hungry. When the body has a need when the body has a need for food and the correct situation occurs, it produces feelings of hunger and triggers the thought, I am hungry. Well, it may trigger different thoughts in different people, but basically you get the gist. I have thought something and done something else. Causes happen 100% of the time. Thoughts do not cause behavior. Ayn Rand, I am outraged by your stupidity. Her writings really do trigger outrage. Yeah, just like B.F. Skinner's triggered outrage in her. That would be explained by conditioning. She rejects conditioning. I hate that. We evolved. Woo! That was really high. How would an autonomous man have evolved? It couldn't. There is no self-initiating force in the universe. How could a man that behaves based on the contingencies of reinforcement evolve? Easily. The science of human behavior is a wonderful advance that gives us complete understanding. It allows us the ability to understand instead of judge. Instead of calling people lazy, stupid, or perverted, we could provide motivation, education, or healthy sexual entertainment for them. Nah, that's too difficult. People don't want to spend time. It's much easier to call somebody lazy, stupid, perverted. Yeah. Makes people feel good too. Understanding gives us the ability to effectively create a world that will reinforce the entertainment. Oh, I said that completely wrong. Yeah, thoughts cause behavior. Understanding will truly allow us to effectively create a world that will reinforce the arts, literature, morality, friendship, responsibility, and true happiness. It will truly allow us to understand what it means to be human. Too bad you, Ayn Rand, were conditioned to vilify understanding that will improve the human conditioning. It's a shame. It's sad. Hopefully the cancer that was fostered in you will be cured and we could recognize the scientific contributions of a wonderful humanist named B.F. Skinner. Can't make fun of that name. No, not at all. Ayn Rand's conditioned response is amazing in its ignorance. She goes on for like a whole book. She really is outraged and she makes not one single valid point. Every point is so wrong, it is hilarious. Well, not that funny. She goes on, it takes away individuality. Again, arguing conclusions. Again, completely wrong. Every person is completely unique based on any of the causes for behavior, much less all of them. It is impossible for anyone to ever be the same. We are even more varied than snowflakes. Your brain connections are probably already formed. Probably be better to tell you how wrong he was. Hey, but I'm not logical. I was conditioned and I go along with the same things like everybody else, but at least I can recognize my superstition and hypocrisy, and it is kind of nice. Ayn Rand can't even spell her name correctly. I apologize for the poor articulation, and I thank Couch Flambeau for that little joke at the start. I don't think anybody probably understood that reference, but Couch Flambeau wrote a wonderful song, Curds for You. It is absolutely hilarious. Nobody would like his voice, though. Well, I absolutely loved it. I can't say nobody, can never say nobody. I'm going off on a tangent. Ayn Rand. You can't even spell your name correctly. You were conditioned to respond that way. You responded exactly like a programmed robot. If Skinner gave us the understanding in order for us to really live long and prosper. Again, not to start directly. Okay, I'll shut up. Ayn Rand can't even spell her name correctly.